Hey everyone, welcome to my GTE Fuji lap guide on Le Mans Ultimate. We're driving the Ferrari GTE today. This is quite a tough track, it's got some very unusual turns, but we'll talk about those when we get there. We start the lap off with a very long straight, and then when we get closer towards the first turn, we'll see a curb on the outside. We want to brake a little bit before that one, so we'll see it should be just around where the 150 board is. We're braking a few car lengths before the curb in the 150 board, braking hard into the first turn, bringing it down to first gear, trailing the brake towards the apex, maybe nibbling the inside curb, picking up the throttle, easing it on, and using that throttle to rotate the car and exit. It gains you a little bit of time. You can run the car all the way to the outside there, but just don't step fully outside the curb or you'll invalidate the lap. Then we bring the car back towards the right, the outside curb there, and we'll look for the 50 board. We want to brake about a car length or two before that, and not too long on the brakes. We'll hit the brakes, start turning in, trail brake, and then we want to cut completely over this curb. Just don't get too far over onto the grass, or you could invalidate the lap, or just make the car really unstable. Get on the throttle hard, and then towards the outside. We don't want to go too far across and over the curb there. We don't want to invalidate our lap, but we also want to bring our car back to the left to open up our entry slightly for this long right-hander here. So this is one of the first unusual turns here. We want to lift just before the turn really starts to tighten up, coasting through here, and then only when the front starts to bite up again, then we start accelerating. I actually touched the throttle a little too early here. You see me lift and get back on throttle there, so just make sure you're patient to get back on throttle. Bring the car back towards the right here, because we're going to open up our entry line for the next turn. For this turn, we're looking for the 50 board on the right there on the fence. We're going to try brake alongside that, as marked on the screen, braking quite hard, trailing towards the inside. We want to carry our speed through the apex here. Don't get onto the red bit too much because it'll kind of push you out wide. I didn't have any luck going over that bit. So just use the regular curb, carry your speed through, and ease the throttle on, balance the throttle and the steering to get yourself out of the turn nicely. Now on the right there we have some grass, so just don't stay too wide for too long or you'll get caught in the grass and possibly lose a little bit of time. Then bring the car back towards the left just a little bit, and then keep a tight line through here, save every thousandth you can. Just take these apexes right like I do here. Then we're looking for the orange bit on the fence. We want to brake alongside that or a car length or two after the Goodyear board that goes across the track. Hard on the brakes, we're going to bring it to first gear. Now we want to cut mostly over this bit on the inside. Just keep your left wheels on the lower bit of the curb because we want to keep those ones on the ground. The right wheels will hop up, and then we bring the car towards the right. Then we coast into this little left-hand kink here. We want to keep we want to use all of the curb, just don't get on the dirt there. Then start to bring on the throttle. Be very gentle on the throttle there. You can use second gear. I drop down to first in that case. Cut right across this green bit here, and then back towards the left here. We're looking for that line just on the outside of the track there. We want to brake just after that and start bringing the car in towards this funny turn over here on the right. I could have probably angled myself a little bit more to the right. You might have seen I've got a little bit of oversteer coming in, but try and angle yourself a little bit more to the right. Bring the throttle on. It's very tricky because the track drops away. Then don't go too far over the curb because you might invalidate the lap. Follow that green line. You want to come back onto the track, and then just after this curb on the left ends, we're going to start braking and letting the car flow out towards the right. Then keep trailing the brake on, then bring it back towards the left. And this green piece of track here you can use. Just be very careful on the throttle here. The track's all over the place here. It goes up and down. You're going all over the curb, so there's a lot of bumps going on here. So we really want to be careful on the throttle coming out of there, balancing it with the steering as well. Just don't end up too far over the curb on this side. You don't want to invalidate the lap. Keep the car straight and bring it back towards the left. You'll see that off-road on the right where I've pointed out the braking reference. We want to brake a few car lengths after that. It's really hard to see actually. Bring the car down to second gear and really trail the brake in and try have a late apex here. To be honest, I feel like I could have carried a little bit more speed in and had an even later apex than I did here, because that straightens your car up for the exit and means you can get on the throttle harder and earlier. Bring the car all the way to the outside, carry your momentum out, and here is about the limit. You don't want to go any wider than I did there. You don't want to go too far outside the curb because you will invalidate the lap. And now you've done all the effort, you can drive towards the line and see what your lap time is. This time, in this lap, I did a 1:35.3, and I thought that was alright. I did this lap in an official practice session for the daily races this week, so if this event is still up by the time you watch this, I hope it helps you out. And now I'm going to play the lap through again without any interruptions. After that lap's done, I'll go through a little pit entry guide, so if you want to see that, stick around after the hot lap. I'll see you soon. With the lap done, we can take a look at the pit entry. So we'll take the last turn as we normally would, but then bring the car towards the right. Make sure you're on the right side of the pit entry line there. Now we're looking out for a Marshall building on the left, which I have pointed out on the screen. There's actually a white line that goes across the track, but it's quite hard to see here. You want to break a few car lengths before that white line, then bring the car close towards the fence there, and then you can cut over this red bit. Unless you're on a league and then you're told not to, then just keep that in mind. Here we want to brake about a car length before the white line. Brake quite hard, get down to first gear and put the pit limiter on, and you should be about 60 km per hour at the line. I hope this track guide's helped you all out. I'll be sure to keep working on these guides, and if you have anything to say or ask, then feel free to leave a comment. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all very soon.